I am Grace. So happy you are here. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be practicing a nice floor flow, and our focus for today and for every day this coming week is going to be a really deep sense of presence, mindfulness, and really basking in the nectar of our own inner being. Within us is pure rapture, pure ecstasy, unlimited beauty and grace. And so let's begin our practice. Feeling the earth underneath us, supporting our body, holding us on this planet, and acknowledging that support, appreciating that support, and feeling that safety and security of being held by Mother Earth. We're going to breathe into the belly. As we breathe into the belly, we trigger the parasympathetic nervous system. The relaxation response. And as we move through these practices, at any time if you need to take a break, please, it's your practice. Honor your body. If you're ever in any pain, always back off. Yoga is not meant to be painful. We like to stay in the feel so good zone. We like to play the edge. So I like to use a rubber band analogy. We're not going to be stretching ourselves and forcing. We're not practicing for the Olympics. We're becoming more mindful and present in our body. But it isn't a time to be a couch potato and loosey-goosey. So we're going to be playing the edge here, maybe a 7. So I invite you to do that. And that playing the edge allows our body to gently open up day after day. If we practice every day, we become more and more flexible through ease and grace rather than through force, which can pull muscles. So we're not going into forcing, we're going into gentle effort. So I invite you to close your eyes as you continue to breathe into the belly. We'll be breathing into the belly throughout the practice. I may invite you to engage your bandhas, which are energy locks. We seal in the energy as we hold a pose and breathe. There's 3 locks. Our pelvic floor is our Mula Bandha. We're going to engage the pelvic floor and feel a lift of the pelvic floor. Our second bandha is the Uddiyana Bandha, and that's our belly. So we're going to feel that's gently engaged and moving up. In Jarandala Bandha, that is the chin comes in a little bit and the tongue rests on the roof of the mouth. So when I invite you to engage those bandhas, you'll feel the pelvic floor engage and lift, the Uddiyana Bandha engage and lift, and the chin come in. And I like to rest the tongue on the roof of the mouth throughout the whole practice. And this allows us, when we breathe and hold a pose, and we generate the vitality and the prana and the energy and life force within us, it doesn't all leak out. It locks it all in. And then that energy and that vitality and life force is used to bring our vitality out, heal the body in ways that need to be healed. So it's very powerful to engage the bodies. So continuing to breathe, I invite you to just dive your awareness in and check in with yourself, noticing how you're feeling today, what's going on in your physical body, your energy body, the inner sensations and pratyahara, the emotions. We're not judging it and we're not trying to change anything. We're just simply observing where we're at in a very loving and accepting way, just noticing. So take a moment and a few breaths to do that. And I invite you to take your time now and create an intention for yourself, something you like to create. State that silently out into the universe, or you may want to state it out loud if you like. Plant that seed into your consciousness is what's important. And then take a few moments, a few breaths to feel those emotions. Are we stating it in the present moment and in the positive? I have the job of my ultimate dreams now. Feeling a sense of gratitude. Feel into those emotions. And I'll give you a few moments and a few breaths to set that intention and to feel fully those emotions that that intention brings up for you. And coming back, let's begin with some circles, pelvic circles. Nice and slow, slow enough that we can be very mindful of our body and those beautiful sensations that we create as we move. How often during the day do we move and we're not even aware of the sensations and the effects of the body? We're going to practice yoga so that we can become very mindful of the sensations. And so we can transfer that when we're off the mat, so we become mindful and present. Moving the other direction now. This week of mindfulness inspired me because I was not mindful yesterday. I usually have all my doors open in my home, and my sliding glass doors, my patio doors. I like open doors. I like to feel connected to the outdoors. Let's go side to side for a few moments, or just moving spontaneously, whichever way feels good for you. If you get to a spot you want to massage, you can do that. And it's starting to get chillier out. It's autumn here where I am in the United States. It's autumn and it's getting chilly. And so somebody shut the door. It was probably me, but I'm not positive. But somebody shut my back patio door that goes into my kitchen. I was having fun and playing around outside in my bare feet. And it was evening time. And I started running to run into the kitchen, and the door was shut. And I slammed my entire face right into the glass. And coming back to center, let's do a little cat-cow flexion and extension of the spine. And so it really hurt and it shook my whole head up. I still feel like my head's a little shook up. And I thought I was not very mindful. I wasn't very aware and present to run straight into the door. And of course, the doors are open all the time. They have been for 7-8 months now, and now they're starting to get closed. But it inspired me to do a week of mindfulness. So We teach what we need to learn, and I'm needing to learn more mindfulness, obviously. And so taking this off the mat in mindfulness. So coming back to center, we're going to move into a table pose. So when we get into a table pose, the knees are right under the hips and the wrists are right under the shoulders. So we want to set up that foundation and that alignment. And spread the fingers out a little bit. And I like when I get into my table pose, I love to move into cat-cow. So as we move into our cow, we're going to stick the tailbone out, arch the back, and lift the head. And I love to inhale while the lungs are open here. And then as we move into our cat, I'm going to tuck the tailbone round the back and drop the head to look in towards the thighs and the belly. Exhaling, flexion of the spine. And moving back into the cow as you arch the back and extend the spine. So moving back and forth at your own pace in cat-cow. Slow enough so that you can be as mindful as possible, noticing sensation, breathing, and enjoying the movement. Being fully present for yourself. You can engage those bandhas, especially that mula bandha, that pelvic floor in this pose. Next time you get into your cat and you have that back rounded up like a big Halloween cat, bring the hips back and feel that nice stretch. It's got a little cramp. Feel a nice stretch on the low back. You can move side to side. Just moving back into your cat and your cow. You go into your cat, you can bring the hips back. You can make circles with the hips. You go both ways. Noticing sensation, mindful movements, fully present in the body. And one of the keys to being present as we move and in the body is that we're in a state of being. We're in a state of presence. And we're not in the thinking mode. We're not in thought disturbances. We're not making our grocery lists. We're thinking about what maybe happened yesterday or earlier today or later. What might happen later today. We're present to the sensations in our body, creating sacred embodiment. Right here for ourselves. All our attention is here for ourselves. We're not lost in thinking. So as we go through the practice, if you notice you're in thought disturbances, you're in that thinking mode, just notice it and kindly and gently bring yourself back to presence and mindfulness and noticing the sensations, enjoying the sensations, bringing all your focus to the pose and the movements. Keeping the breath flowing. And coming back to center. And we're going to come up onto our knees now. I'm going to come up more into the middle of my mat. Coming up onto our knees. Still hip width apart. And we're going to move into Camel, Ustrasana. And one of the things we want to try to do as we move into Camel, a nice back bend pose, is we're going to try to keep those hips aligned with the knees. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck that tailbone under. That opens up these lumbar vertebrae, so when I go into my back bend, they don't crunch. I'm going to bring the hands to the small of the back on either side of the lumbar spine. And I'm going to open the chest. Bring those elbows together a little bit. And go into a nice gentle back bend. Head is in alignment with the spine. Feeling that nice gentle back bend, breathing into the belly, engaging those bandhas. And this is a beautiful place for this pose. This may be your full pose, your full camel pose. If you want to challenge yourself, you can come up onto your toes, or you might just come directly down to your heels. I love coming up onto my toes and bringing the floor a little closer and bringing the hands to the heels. And then remember to move those hips back over the knees. And engage those bandhas and let's breathe. A couple more breaths. And on your next inhale, bring the hands back to the small of the back and coming up. Releasing those toes. And we're going to bring the hips back and we're going to move into a child's pose. And I invite you to open the knees a little bit. And as you hinge forward, allow the belly to rest right between the knees. And we can either bring your hands out in front or you can bring them alongside. And resting the head, the forehead down on the mat. And take this time for a few breaths and dive into your own being, fully present, fully there for yourself. Just in awareness of your own awareness. And breathe. Next inhale, coming all the way up. We're going to bring those legs out in front. We're going to take this left leg straight out. And we're going to bring the right leg, the sole of the right foot is going to rest on the inner thigh of the left leg. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, hinging forward. Feel that nice stretch on the back of the legs. And let the back of the legs let you know when you're at your edge, that gentle, feel so good edge. And let's take a nice deep breath here. After holding that edge for a nice deep breath, see if you can hinge just a little deeper in your hip. Maybe a micro movement deeper. And then allowing the spine to round. And then we can flex and extend that foot for different sensations. Keeping the breath flowing. It's always an opportunity if you can reach your foot to massage your foot. And I invite you to massage your foot, knowing that this is a sacred foot. Beginning to really connect with your body as the true sacred temple that it is. And continuing to breathe. I'm going to let the cat in. I'll be right back. Xander. Good boy. And gently and kindly coming up. And we're going to switch legs. So we're going to take this right leg out, bend that left knee, and take the sole of the left foot rested on the inner thigh of the right leg. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, hinging at the hips. And bring the hands down to the mat. Find your edge, and let's take a nice deep breath. And now see if you can hinge a little deeper in your hip. Beautiful. And then allow the spine to round. And flex and extend that foot. Massaging that foot, the sacred foot. Your awareness is a sacred awareness. Exists and is sustained by divine awareness. The one mind. Knowing that divine consciousness flows through you, as you, and embodies this physical animal body. You are the awareness that lives lifetime after lifetime. You are the sacred embodiment. And coming up. And let's bring those feet together in our butterfly or Baddha Kanasana. And we can wrap the hands around the feet. We can open those feet up a little like a book. And then allow those legs and knees to just flop a little in your butterfly wings. Imagine you're just flitting around, landing on flowers and beautiful things. And bringing that to a rest. And then I invite you to take those knees and those legs and bring them down towards the earth as much as you possibly can, honoring wherever you're at. We never compare in yoga. Everyone is in a different place. Everyone has different body types. And it's not about how far you can stretch. It's about how present you can be in your body. So let's engage that Mula Bandha, that pelvic floor. That Uddiyana Bandha, that belly. Gently engage that belly. And Jarandala Bandha. Bring the chin in and the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Let's inhale as we lengthen the spine. And let's exhale as we hinge forward in our Baddha Konasana. Feeling a nice hip opener here. And find your edge. That feels so good edge. And begin to breathe. Fully present to sensation. Fully present to yourself. That was the invitation as you're breathing and holding the poses to close your eyes and dive in deep. Fully present to the self and all the sensations in the body. One more breath. And hinging up. And relaxing those knees. Beautiful job. Let's bring those knees up. Both knees up. And move into a little balancing bear, but we're just going to do a half balancing bear to start. So I'm going to take both hands around the outside of the feet. And I'm going to take this left leg and I'm going to reach it out and straighten it as best as possible. Honor where you're at. Acknowledge yourself for where you're at. Always feeding your consciousness positive thoughts. Wow, I'm doing a great job. Look where I'm at. I'm on the mat. Even if you're not doing anything with me, if you're sitting in Savasana and you're on the mat with me listening, acknowledging yourself, always being the kindest voice for your own self, softest place to land, to your own most loving self. And bringing that left leg down. We're going to bring the right leg out. Feeling that nice stretch. Keeping the breath flowing in the belly. Moving that leg around. The knee can be as bent as much as needed. And bring that leg down. We're going to balance back on the sacrum. Lift those heels up. And if you can't bring both up and both legs out, just do one at a time. Again, that works just as well. We're going to bring both legs out together, same time, simultaneously, in a balancing bear. This is a balance, so we're going to engage the bandhas and breathe and find a spot in front of you that's not moving. You can gaze at to anchor and help your balance. One more breath. And releasing the legs down. Beautiful job. And we're going to bring those knees up and bring the legs together again. We're going to move into a nice boat. But we're first going to move into half boat and then full boat. So we're going to balance back on that sacrum again. Lift those legs up so the shins and the calves are parallel to the floor. Bring the hands behind the knees, holding yourself up. This is our half boat. This may be your pose, and that's fine. Allow yourself to be here. Make it here. If you want to challenge yourself a little more, you can extend those legs out, the arms out on the side. Engage the bandhas. Find your dristi and breathe. One more breath. Let's move back into half boat. And those knees in a little. And then coming down. Beautiful job. That's a challenging pose. Coming up, scooting yourselves up to the front of the mat. You're going to move into some spinal rocks. So you're going to bring the hands behind the knees. And we're going to, in this, I only suggest you do this if you have enough padding on your mat. And if not, just come down gently onto the floor. If you have enough padding, like I do, I have a nice thick cushion mat. This is my beloved son John's mat. I use it every day. And we're just going to rock back. Feel a nice massage on the lower back. Massage along the spine. Massaging the kidneys. Very good for you. And then coming, so you're laying on your back, extending. Let's bring the feet to the floor and the knees up. And we're going to move into a bridge pose. So we're going to press into the feet and we're going to move into a two-legged table first, just lifting those hips halfway. Just halfway. Feeling that nice sensation. Breathing into the belly, engaging those bandhas. Fully present to the sensations in your body, the aliveness surging through the inner being. And on your next exhale, coming down one vertebrae at a time. From those upper thoracic vertebrae to the lower, and the lumbar, and even allow that sacrum to relax. Now we're going to press into the feet and we're going to lift into a full bridge, the best that you can do, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips and arching the back. And then I'm going to bring those shoulders underneath my body. Clasp the hands underneath me and feel a nice back bend. Engage those bandhas and let's breathe. One more deep breath. So you can lift a little higher in that back bend. And on the exhale, releasing the arms, releasing those shoulders, and coming down one vertebra at a time. And then let's tuck those knees into the chest and rock back and forth. Release and relax that lower back. A nice counter pose for the back bend is flexion of the spine. Bring those knees into the chest. Beautiful. Bringing the feet down. Let's move into a little hip opener or kind of a supta or supine pigeon. Rest, my left knee is up. My right ankle is resting on the left knee. I'm going to lift the left foot out. I'm going to bring the left leg in towards the body. Wrap the hands behind the hamstring of my left leg. And gently pulling the left leg in towards the body. Feeling a nice hip opener on the right side. Let's engage the bandhas. Breathe. Fully present. Mindful. Aware of our own self. Sensations in our body. Be fully there for yourself. Keep the breath flowing. Your next exhale, releasing the leg. When we're present to the self. And bringing that left foot on the mat. We're going to switch legs. So the right foot on the mat, right knee is up. You're going to take that left foot and rest the left ankle on the right knee. Bringing that right leg up, clasping the hands behind the right hamstring and gently pulling that right leg in towards the body. Feeling a nice opening on the left hip. Engage those bandhas. And let's bring in the prana and life force with the breath as we relax into this pose, fully present, fully aware, there for ourselves. Deep belly breaths. And on your next exhale, releasing the leg down. Beautiful job. And we're going to move into a nice spinal twist. So we're going to take that left leg straight out. Coming up onto the left side, just an inch. And then we're going to take the right leg over to the left hand on the right leg, guiding it over. We're going to take the right hand and we're going to extend it out 90 degrees and turn the head to gaze out over the right fingertips. And breathe. Basking in sensations. Basking in your aliveness. Basking in the inner ecstasies. And releasing that right leg, coming back to center, and we're going to switch legs. I have my right leg out straight, Left knee is bent, coming up just an inch onto that right side. Bringing the left knee over to the right, right hand on the left knee to guide it over. And I'm going to take my left arm out 90 degrees and I'm going to turn my head to gaze out over the right fingertips. Basking in this nice deep twist as it brings energy into the spinal column, cleanses the internal organs, helps with digestion, and breathe. Fully present and allow yourself to bask in sensations. Releasing that leg. Beautiful job. We're going to come back to center. And we're going to bring those knees into the chest to release and relax that lower back. We'll be doing that a lot. And I invite you to bring those legs up. Just bring both legs up. You can flex and extend those feet, feeling the different sensations. Breathing into the belly. Let's bring the hands around behind the hamstrings and then open the legs out. Feeling a nice stretch in the inner thighs. Bring the legs back together. And we're going to pull the legs in towards ourselves. Feeling nice stretch in the lower back. And breathing into the belly, fully present and basking in the aliveness of our own being. And bringing the legs back up straight. Let's move into half shoulder stand. So we're going to lift those hips. Bring the hands to the hips here. And swallow the back. See if you can get those feet right above your head. Breathing into the belly, gazing at the toes, basking in and mindful of your body and sensations. Take that right foot and see if you can bring it down and tap the ground. And then bringing it back up. See if you can take that left leg down. And wherever you can be is okay. If you can't get to the ground, that's all right. Honor where you're at. And bringing that left leg back up. And let's hinge into our plow. I like to keep the legs parallel to the floor rather than bringing the toes down, just to protect this lower back. And breathe, mindful of the body and the sensations. Fully present to the self. And to come up, we're going to bring those knees into the chest and curl up like a ball. You can bring the hands to the floor and gently rolling down. Beautiful job. Let's extend those legs out. We move into a fish. So both hands are on the mat face down. Palms are face down on the earth. We're going to bring our hands under the buttocks. So each hand is under the buttocks. Bring those arms and elbows nice, snug, close into the body. We're going to press into the elbows. We're going to lift the heart. The head is going to lift up off the floor. And then we're going to gently allow the head to come down, resting the top of the head, the crown on the earth. Feeling a nice back bend on the upper thoracics. Let's engage those bandhas and let's bring in the prana and life force with the breath. Fully present, mindful, basking in sensation. Basking in the nectar. Inhale, coming up. Exhaling, straightening out the body. Releasing the hands from underneath. And let's bring those knees into the chest to release and relax the lower back, rocking back and forth. Beautiful. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Wrap the hands around the feet in a butterfly. It's a supine butterfly or Supta Pada Kanasana in Sanskrit. And we're going to take the hands wrapped around the feet and we're just going to pull those feet into the body, feeling both hips opening up together simultaneously. Engage those bandhas, especially that Mula Bandha, and breathe, basking in the nectar. The inner nectar of your own being. You can only feel when you're fully present. Breathing into the belly. Beautiful job releasing those feet. And let's keep the hands wrapped around the feet, releasing the pull. And we're going to open up the legs. Knees are wide and the feet are facing the sky. Hands are wrapped around the outer edges of the feet. We're going to move into baby as we gently pull the feet in towards the floor. Coming in towards armpits and the floor. Feeling the hip opening and basking in the nectar as we breathe. Into the belly. Keeping that parasympathetic nervous system triggered. Releasing that pull, but keeping the feet. We're going to roll around in happy baby. So just kicking the feet like you did when you were a baby, like babies do. And allow yourself to just be that childlike energy. Exploring the body. This is how babies embody their divine conscious awareness into their bodies. They discover they have feet and they can grab them. And they discover they have legs. They notice the sensations. They start to realize and embody their awareness, their conscious awareness into the body. That's what we're doing. Because as we Become adults, we begin to disconnect from the legs and the feet and the body awareness, releasing the feet. And we're going to bring both feet on the mat, knees are up, and we're going to move into some releases in our Savasana and a final meditation. So bringing the hands to the hips, and we're going to be laying flat on the floor. Nothing is going to be lifting up off the floor consciously. We're just going to be swiveling our hips. So both hips are going to go in different directions. I'm going to start to swivel this left hip down towards the left heel, reaching towards the heel. Right hip is reaching up towards the armpit. And then I'm going to switch. So I'm going to start to bring this left hip up towards the left armpit, and the right hip is going down towards the right foot. And swiveling back and forth with the hips. A nice swivel in that lumbar sacrum area of the spine. Swiveling those hips, noticing the sensations, allowing yourself to enjoy the sensations, enjoying moving in the body, keeping the breath flowing into the belly, moving nice and slowly enough so that you can be mindful. Noticing even the most subtle sensations. And coming back to center. We're going to move into hip pointers. So I'm going to root this right hip into the earth, and I'm going to lift this left hip up, and I'm going to point it up towards the sky. So this left butt cheek is going to lift off the earth a little bit while the right stays grounded. And I'm going to bring the left down, and I'm going to keep the left grounded in the left butt cheek and hip grounded into the earth. And I'm going to point that right hip up towards the sky. Going back and forth, pointing those hips, keeping the breath flowing through the belly, basking in the nectar, mindful of the movement. And coming back to center. We're going to move into cat-cow, flexion and extension of the spine. So let's move into cat first as we tuck the tailbone under and press the small of the back into the earth. And then moving into our cow as we arch the small of the back, that lumbar spine off the earth, just sticking the tailbone out. And your back may not lift up, but your spine is lifted up off the mat. So this is our extension in our cow and our flexion in our cat. So moving back and forth on your cat-cow in the supine position, keeping the breath flowing in the belly, basking in the sensations and the nectar of your own beingness. And coming back to center. We're going to keep those knees up. And we're just going to bring the feet a little further apart and further apart until the feet come out to the wide edges of our mat, or wider than hip width apart. And we're going to drop one knee at a time into the center. Noticing sensations, fully present with the self, and basking in the nectar, the aliveness, the rapture, the inner being, keeping the breath flowing. And coming back to center, knees are up, and we're going to walk those feet back together. Let's drop both knees over to one side, and we're going to go into double knee drop. You can either bring them together side by side, or you can lift that top knee up, bringing it over to the other side, allowing the bottom knee to follow. Or a combination of both, finding what feels best for you, always honoring yourself, keeping the breath flowing. And finishing up on whatever side you're at, and coming back to neutral. And let's bring those knees into the chest for a final relaxation of the lower back, rocking back and forth, releasing and relaxing that lower back. So we're really comfortable in our Savasana. You can extend those legs out. And bringing the palms up, the arms a little away from the body, bringing the legs a little more than hip width apart, flopping the feet out wide, allowing the entire body to let go and release, resting into the earth, letting all your weight drop into the earth, feeling all the muscles in the body melting, letting go, bones heavier, the body sinking into the earth, all the systems of the body every finger, every toe, every muscle, every joint. Releasing and letting go and relaxing deeper and deeper. And we will rest in a few moments of silence while we allow all the energies of this practice to integrate into our own being on every level, mind, body, and spirit. For silence, a few moments of silence. Letting go. Nice deep breath into the belly as you begin to come back. Wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, beginning to stretch out the body. Arms and legs stretching out. And rolling over to one side or the other. Taking a nice deep breath here as you notice the shifts in the fluids and the organs and the energies of the body. When you're ready, gently coming up to a seated position. And taking this moment to check in with your being, your body, all aspects of yourself, scanning the physical, the energy, the emotions. Even noticing if there's any difference between when you checked in at the beginning of practice. Continuing to breathe into the belly. Retraining the body to breathe into the belly. And bringing yourself back to that intention that you set at the beginning of practice. And again, feeling the emotions. Take it one more breath as you bask in those sensations and having that intention fulfilled. Bringing your awareness and your attention into your heart, your own being, the deepest aspect of your being. Honoring yourself for this practice, this self-love, this active self-love. Supporting all aspects of your being, mind, body, and spirit. Coming together as one, whole, perfect, and complete. Embodying your infinite divine awareness into this human animal body so that you can be the most powerful, you can be in service of yourself and all humanity in a deep and powerful way. Bringing your hands to your heart, and we will conclude with Anjali Mudra. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, of light, of truth, and of peace. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste. And please join me. I will be right back with a rapture meditation. Wishing you a beautiful and most blessed day.